my biggest contradiction for every religion that I've looked into is always, they say, even in like Catholicism, so it's like God has always been, God is one, like he was always there, beginning, right? I just can't wrap my head around in every religion. It's the same thing where it's always been. Where was before? You know what I'm saying?
Good question. That's a great question.
You know,
so
it's kind of a gray zone for me.
I got you. Let me clear up your gray zone. And then you're becoming Muslim. All right, cool. Right? Have you ever seen a puppet show? Right? When you see a puppet and you see it moving, do you think there's a puppeteer behind them? How do you know? Because they got string. What's your name?
Malcolm.
Malcolm X. All right, we good, man. What's your name? Carter. All right, yeah. Carter's a cool name too. Javante, nice. So, when you see the puppeteer behind the puppet, right? So you see the puppet, you know there's got to be a puppeteer because you see the strings being pulled. So you go to the back and you see the guy pulling the strings. You ever go to him and go, yo, where are your strings, bro? You don't, right? Because that's the puppeteer. He doesn't function by the laws of the puppet.
Gotcha.
We're creations. So no doubt everything has a beginning and end, right? If you look at this building, there was a time this building wasn't here. And someday this building won't be here. That's very true. So to conceptualize something that always was there and always will be there is difficult for us. 100% I understand. But that's where you have to differentiate between the creator and the creation. Like me and you don't know everything. If you, Carter, came out to me and said, I know everything, I'd be like, yo, bro, you capping, right? Because I know that there's some things you don't know. And then I'll hit you with a question you don't know, and I'd be like, boom, bro, right? But that's the thing. We're creation. We're limited. Like Jesus, like you said, he has a beginning. He was born, right? Then, according to Christians, he died, right? According to Muslims, he's not dead, but he will die, right? Because everybody dies. But God never dies, because that's above, right? Let me give you another example. Now, this is something that just in the worldly. You know, energy doesn't die. You know, energy changes form, but it doesn't die. So, doctors, scientists, researchers tell us that energy, it just changes form. Now, that's hard for me to conceptualize, because when I see a light bulb turned off, I say energy's finished. But the reality is, that's just the light not coming. The energy that was going is still, exactly. But energy will recycle and still be there. Right? So that's the thing. God is the creator of energy. He's the creator of us. He's the creator. So he doesn't govern by our laws. God knows everything. Right? God knows what will happen, what did happen. Now for me and you, that's hard to understand because we don't. But that's why God is he's the puppeteer. He's the one that created. He is the creator. So he doesn't govern by strings like a puppet does, right? So God has always been there, will always be there. God is nothing like us.
That's
right?
where
Does that make
faith and trust?
Well, it's not just faith. It's not blind faith, right? We believe in faith based on facts, right? Like you have a Quran in your hand. If I told you that this was written by somebody who couldn't read or write, you couldn't believe that, right? If you can't read or write, how could you write a book?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
This Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and you can look up any historian, he couldn't read or write. So where could he come up with this? Now let me show you something. I got you. Right? Check this out. Right? This is the Quran. You have the same one? Right? This is Surat Naziyat, right? It talks about he extracted from the water and its pastures, right? From the earth extracted water and its pastures. The fact that the water on earth came from within the earth, this was recently discovered, right? How can a man in a desert 1400 years ago have known that? Who couldn't read or write, who wasn't a scientist, who wasn't a Roman philosopher, he wasn't a Greek, any of that kind of stuff, right? Now look at this. Okay? In the Quran, or they be like the darknesses within the unfathomable sea, which is covered with waves, upon which there are waves. Now look at this. The fact that there are waves underneath the ocean, in the inside of the ocean, not just on the surface, is something very recently figured out, because we couldn't dive deep enough. How could the Prophet Muhammad have known that there are waves beneath the ocean? Like, okay, maybe he guessed at it, right? Like I'm open to speculate. I'm not like church, just shut up and believe,
Yeah.
Like we Muslims believe in asking questions, okay? This is in the Quran in Surah Mu'minun, right? And certainly we did. Let me change my glasses, man. I'm getting young. Just kidding. Right?
So it's very hot.
Yeah, I feel like Cali. And certainly did we create man from extract of clay, and then we placed him as a sperm in the form of lodging in the womb. The sperm lodges in the womb, right? Then we made from the sperm drop into a clinging clot. A clot, this is called the alaq, right? And we made from the clot into a lump of flesh. Then we made from the lump bones, and we covered the bones with flesh. So bones first, then flesh. And we developed him into another creation, which is the human. So blessed is Allah. Now that explanation of how the sperm clots and then becomes a lump, and bones form first, and then muscle and flesh forms after that, could not. I mean, what did he have? Ultrascans? Right? Now, I'm going to give you one more, just because you guys are so cool. Right? This is in Surah Anbiya. And he who created the night and the day and the sun and the moon, all of the heavenly bodies in an orbit are swimming. They are going in an orbit. Now the fact that the sun has an orbit was very recently developed or understood by scientists. So how does a man who can't read or write come up with a whole book that is eloquent in the Arabic language, that has linguistic miracles, that has prophecies that came true, and has scientific facts that 100% could not have been known by somebody of his time?